YouTube, what's going on today, guys? Listen, we have a new video here for you today on scruffy looking Nerf herders. My name is Wyatt. Welcome back to the channel. Guys, so this is something I've been wanting to talk about for a few days. I've been trying to figure out how I want to word it. I've heard some people talking about it. I have not read the article. I have not watched this video yet that we're going to watch today. But I have a hard time believing this. Okay, I'm gonna put this out there right now. This is my opinion. It's an opinion. So you guys can have your own opinions. That's fine. But personally, I don't believe this. I think there is an agenda with this coming up that I believe ties to other things that are going on. I believe that some of you have heard about the rumors regarding Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves' new Batman movie called The Batman, scheduled to come out March of 2022. Right now, the most recent rumors are that the Batman movie is so bad that it might be delayed again to 2023 due to more reshoots with because of the Warner Brothers execs hating the movie, basically. I don't believe it. And I'm gonna start this out right now. If you guys are following anything with the Batman, I honestly there may be a little bit of bias here. I've been getting a little worked up with this, talking about this with friends and stuff like that over the last couple of days. But my whole opinion on this is that I'm a little bit biased because this is my most anticipated movie, of all time right now. This is probably the thing I'm most anticipated for. This is what I'm most anticipated for. So I can't wait for this movie. Super excited for this movie because I love Matt Reeves. Matt Reeves has done some amazing things in the past. And at first I was skeptical because of Robert Pattinson. I was very skeptical because of Robert Pattinson. And yeah, I think that over time he has become an amazing actor. I have gone back and I have watched several of his movies since he's kind of gone to that independent circuit. He is known as Edward from Twilight. I totally get it. Totally get it. He's known as Edward from Twilight, and that's what people see him as because that's all people have known. So go in and watch some of his movies. Pull up some of his old his independent circuit films and watch those. The dude is an incredible actor. And I can tell you guys, my opinion is based on off of that first trailer, 2 months of filming when they released that first trailer, and it was a stunning trailer. It was very good. It was a great trailer. I loved it. And also based on the fact that they are constantly, at the moment right now, releasing promotional images, promotional things. And you're not doing that if it's a bad movie. And before we get into this video, because I've rambled on enough here at the start of the video, guys, if you agree with me here, or if you disagree with me here, that's totally fine. You guys can formulate your own opinions based on this stuff. But like and comment, and please hit that subscribe button, guys. I'm going to cover more stuff like this as the time goes on because this movie will be coming out faster than we realize. But I will preface this with saying, I do not believe it will be delayed. I do believe it will be scheduled. It will be released as scheduled, and I believe it is going to be a stunning movie. We will talk more about this at the end. I am excited to watch this video. This video was put out. Some of you may know him as he is Overlord DVD Dictor Van Doomcock on YouTube, and yeah, he's quite the character. He is quite the character, and something I can tell you is he claims to have these sources, and I don't have any sources at the moment, so I'm not one to judge, but he has said some things that have been true, and he has said some things that have not been true. In fact, not even close. But I find his videos entertaining, and I think that there is some validity to some of the things that he reports on. And this video has been making its rounds all over the social media things that I follow, and I've been wanting to watch it. I have not yet. I've been talking to a bunch of people about this stuff, so I'm excited to get into it. And after this video, if we need to read the article that accompanies it, we will read the article that accompanies it. But I'm excited to get into this, so without any further ado, let's watch this video, shall we?
Greetings, my friends. I want to thank you all for subscribing. I want to thank all of my channel members for supporting me in this endeavor to save pop culture. And if you are not subscribed, please consider supporting this channel. We need you. Thank you.
Quite the character, but it's entertaining.
Greetings, my friends. I am Dictor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth. And I am here today to share some wacky rumors I've heard about Matt Reeves' upcoming movie, The Batman. As hard as it is to believe, according to a source that has given us credible info in the past, yet more setbacks have surfaced which could result in making The Batman the most expensive movie ever made. Even so, the level of incompetence rumored here is nigh unto incomprehensible, so I have a degree of skepticism about what I'm about to tell you. Could it possibly be true that things are this bad behind the scenes?
Well, I mean, we've seen how awful the trailer was, so yeah. In the immortal words of the monkeys, I'm a believer. We got a superhero movie with a scrawny Batman who doesn't like wearing the bat suit? What could possibly go wrong?
Lots, according to this source, Harvey. At this point, I just want to say that what I'm about to tell you is information that was provided to my Hollywood agents by a source claiming to have knowledge regarding the Batman production. But since I cannot independently verify any of this, I am reporting it solely as rumor, and I must ask you to please take it with a grain of salt. Now, for those of you who don't know, The Batman has been a very troubled production, rife with delays, reshoots, shutdowns, and I think at one point, biblical plagues of locusts, frogs, and vampires that sparkle like diamonds in the sun.
Of all the plagues, that last one in particular has been the worst, from what I've heard. Maybe Robert Pattinson wasn't the best choice for Bruce Wayne after all.
Well, it could be worse. He could sparkle like diamonds in the moon. That would make it hard for Batman to lurk in the shadows, a sparkling all diamondy in the shadows and all.
Hell, he'd be his own bat signal.
He could be his own glow-in-the-dark watch dial. Bat dial, na-na-na-na-na-na.
Once black, glowing, and full of bullet holes. Robert Pattinson's Batman. Is that the rumor?
No, Harvey. The fact that Robert Pattinson's Batman sparkles like diamonds in the moon and makes a hell of a target is not the rumored problem here. The Bat villains that are vexing the Batman right now aren't the Joker and the Riddler. It's studio executives.
Holy bat budget! Lay it on me, oh future ruler of Earth. What's the latest?
Well, Harvey, this is what I've been told. According to this source, there is a huge possibility that the Batman is going to be pushed back once again for more reshoots.
How is that possible? This thing is cursed. It's been in production since January of 2020. In fact, didn't the principal photography finish up this past March?
Indeed it did, Harvey. And that allegedly is when the trouble really began. According to this source, once the footage was shot, they pieced together what they could, and then, and this was their big mistake, they showed it to upper management. And apparently, when the big wigs saw what all this time and money had gotten them, they flipped their proverbial wigs and they lost it. From what I'm told, they completely freaked out. Kinda how like fans felt after The Last Jedi and Star Trek Into Darkness. That level of freak out. From what I've been told, Matt Reeves was in attendance at this rough screening, and the executives started expressing their horror and disbelief at what they had just seen. And it got ugly.
Oh, to have been a fly on the wall during this confrontation. Of course, any fly there would have been on the screen instead of the wall, since that's where all the poop was.
Allegedly. So this source claims that as this incident went on, things degraded into a yelling match between the executives and Matt Reeves. The executives were asking, "What the hell was this shit you just showed us?" And Matt told them this was their fault for not listening to him. It has been rumored that all through this production, Reeves was unhappy with Pattinson in the role, with Pattinson refusing to work out and bulk up for Batman, the stunt people in bat suits being noticeably bigger than Pattinson, with antics on the set and conflicts spurred on by Pattinson's approach to the role. All these have been rumored issues, but of one thing there can be no doubt. This movie has taken a lot longer to film than projected, and it may be about to get worse.
Worse than a release in March of 2020? How could it be worse?
A release in 2023, Harvey. This is allegedly being considered now, if this source is correct. The source claims that Warner Brothers is in too deep to bail on this movie, and that to date, with all the delays and problems, the budget is somewhere north of $400 million.
Jeez.
That means if The Batman is delayed further, this could be the most expensive movie ever made.
Dude, why would it be delayed again? I mean, it's in the can, right? It sucks, but it's in the can. Time to just put it out and write off your losses, yeah?
Apparently, Harvey, Warner Brothers is between a rock and a hard place on this thing. From what I've been told, even the executives know this is a terrible movie. God knows Hollywood regularly releases horrible movies, so this one must be kind of special to have aroused such alleged ire. They are so heavily invested in this movie, if they just dump it as is into theaters and HBO Max, it'll be a huge loss for them. So at this point, the executives are contemplating their options, one of which is more reshoots to try and reduce the damage.
Damn. Maybe it would be a good time to hit up Warner Brothers to hit the button. Must investigate further. But what exactly do they want to reshoot?
Apparently, there isn't anything wrong with the action stuff per se. The problem is allegedly with all the Bruce Wayne stuff. I mean, look at this picture. This is Bruce Wayne. Who could possibly have a problem with this?
I don't know, man. He looks kind of like Edward Scissorbat.
Edward Scissorbat. Tim Burton's Batman redo. It was better the first time. But I digress. Edward Scissorbat.
But I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead, continue your point. Regarding Bruce Wayne?
For whatever reason, I'm told the executives want to reshoot a lot of the Bruce Wayne scenes.
But holy shit on a stick, Doomcock. That would be most of the movie, wouldn't it?
One would think, Harvey. At least it wouldn't be the most expensive parts of the movie. I guess the executives are weighing the consequences of reshoots versus the consequences of just cutting their losses and releasing the damn thing as is. But one huge problem is, if they went for the reshoots, it would push the release date back to 2023.
Why so long?
When asked that very question, the source replied that Catwoman is pregnant, so to complete the reshoots they have to wait not only for her to have the baby, but then to get back into shape for the reshoots.
I can't imagine that Matt Reeves would be happy about coming back for more bat punishment. Makes me want to crank call the production offices and ask them, "Excuse me, do you have Alan Smithy in a can?" Well, you better let him out. He's directing the Batman.
So here's my take on it, Harvey. I think if this rumor is true, and I'm a tad skeptical about it, I think that maybe this was an exchange that happened in a moment of passion. Maybe these executives saw a rough assembly, the mix wasn't quite there, some effects were missing, it pretty much sucked and the executives hit the roof, started yelling, threatening this and threatening that. But I suspect that once they calm down, look at the budget and the situation, they will probably decide one of two things. They'll either let it go as it is on schedule, or they may do very limited reshoots with just Pattinson and Catwoman standing behind bushes and flowers to hide her pregnancy, coupled with a body double to shoot from behind, and they won't delay the thing till 2023. I think ultimately the logistics of reshoots will just be too daunting, and after all, no matter what, you're still getting Pattinson back in the same role, so why do they think it's going to turn out all that differently? Honestly, you can lead a Hollywood executive to water, but you can't make him drink, apparently, when they've got an oasis right in front of them named Ben Affleck. That is the Batman with a passion for the role. That is the Batman that could have made The Batman a hit. But no, they've gone ahead and committed with Pattinson, and now they're stuck in that. At this point, I have to say, if they were going to reshoot all of the Bruce Wayne stuff, why don't they just pop Ben Affleck right in there? Wouldn't that be a little bit better anyway? I think it would. Embarrassing, but better. Ultimately, my best guess, We'll see how bad the Batman is come March of 2022.
I knew it. I knew it, guys.
From the center of the earth, this is Victor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry.
I just... Is this whole thing a spiel for the whole restore the Snyderverse thing? Listen, I'm all for it. I want the Snyderverse. They do understand that the multiverse is a thing, right? We can have multiple Batmans. I know some people have a problem with it, but hold on just a second. I want to talk about this. So, you guys can hear me out all you want. And if you guys believe this, you guys can believe this. But this is bullshit. It's 100% hokey. Like, it's not real. Like, this is not a thing. Like, here's the thing. If Doomcock says he's skeptical of it, then don't believe it. That's my thing. If he says he's skeptical, don't believe it. The whole reason he made this video, his videos are fun. I like his videos. There's some things that he says that there's truth to, but there's not. I don't think there's truth to this at all. He did this for clicks, and he did this to push the Restore the Snyderverse narrative, because there are those creators on YouTube that are like, Restore the Snyderverse, and they push everything they can to restore the Snyderverse. They're trying to do that, and that includes tearing down this new Batman movie that Matt Reeves is doing. I'm gonna be honest with you. The fact that movie has gone through so many production problems has nothing to do with what he said. It was 100% because of COVID and Robert Pattinson getting COVID. That's why the movie was stopped for so long. They canceled production because of COVID, and they canceled production because Robert Pattinson had COVID, so they had to stop for a month. They did 2 weeks of his recovery from COVID, and then they did 2 weeks after he got better to make sure that he was better. That's why it stopped. It didn't stop because of all this other crap that people are throwing out there. And I'm not saying it's all DVD here. He's just reporting the rumor. So it's not him. He's reporting the rumor. He's making a video on it. That's fair. That's what I'm doing, and I'm just following up on what he said, because he's the popular one right now that had this article written about it and all this stuff. So I'm just reporting on what he said, and I don't think that there's any validity to this at all whatsoever. I think this is just to get clicks. I think this is to get people to look into it and to read about it, and I think it is to push the narrative for the Restore the Snyderverse. Below, he says, I wanted to clarify something for those viewers who aren't paying attention, didn't watch. I reported this as a rumor, and furthermore, I expressed my own skepticism regarding this report. Boom. That's the first sentence. That's the first sentence. If that's the first sentence, then I'm not believing the report. You're coming right out into it in your comments by saying, I am skeptical. Then don't do the report on it. I get why you're doing it. I get why people are doing it, but then don't report on it. It's not true. If you are this skeptical about your source's story, then don't post it. And he goes on to say, I do believe this movie is going to suck because Batman is so tragically miscast in my opinion, but as for the rest of it, it's from a source that's given us stuff in the past, but again, I'm skeptical. So he says, again, in sentence number 2, he's skeptical again. So he's really pushing this, that he is negative. So that he's skeptical on it. So I get why people think it's going to suck, because they want Ben Affleck to be in this role. And again, he fought the fact, he kept pushing the fact that Robert Pattinson was Edward from Twilight. Like, they were going at you. They were throwing the whole, he's Edward from Twilight. I get that. He's also more than just Edward from Twilight. He is also an amazing actor who has spent years honing his ability as an actor and his skills as an actor in the independent circuit. Look up Robert Pattinson on IMDb. Go watch some of his movies. That's all you got to do. Go watch some of his independent circuit movies. I will name some of them for you right now. Go to Robert Pattinson, go to IMDb, go watch The Devil All the Time. Great movie. Go watch it. Go watch his role in The Devil All the Time. It's on Netflix. Tenet. He was amazing in Tenet. That's not even an independent circuit movie. Neither was The Devil All the Time. Netflix. Blockbuster. And then you have The Lighthouse. Go watch The Lighthouse. Go watch Good Time. Good Time. Life. The Rover. Cosmopolis. Just go watch them. Go watch Robert Pattinson's independent circuit movies, and you guys will see the kind of actor that he is. That's my personal opinion on this. And like I said, they would not be releasing promotional images week after week if this movie was going to be bad. If the execs did not like this movie, they would not be releasing promotional images. I just saw more promotional images for this movie today. And to add on top of that, when filming a movie, this movie finished filming 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago? Almost 3 months ago? Reshoots happen. Because you're in the editing process of the film, you may not like some of your shots. And this movie is practical. Very little CG in this film. So if I'm an editor and I'm looking at a shot and it's too dark, and I go in and try to manually change the lighting on the editing process, if I'm the director, Matt Reeves, and I go look at that and I go, that doesn't look very good, that looks bad, then you have to go back when you're filming a practical movie, you have to go back and reshoot that whole film with the lighting that suits it. That suits you, the lighting that you want. So they may be doing reshoots, but their reshoots are for a legitimate reason. I don't think this film is riddled with problems. Yes, Robert Pattinson's not big. Cool. You know what you do? You bulk the suit up a little bit and you put padding in it to make him bigger. That has nothing to do with it. And Matt Reeves does not have a problem with Robert Pattinson, or else he would not have been raving about the guy all over the place. Matt Reeves is not a guy who just goes, I don't like the guy. Don't like him. And then come out on national television and rave about him. So I don't think this movie is going to be an issue. I'm going to pull up this article real quick and I want to read it. We'll read it pretty quick. We'll read through it pretty quick and then I'll just kind of give my thoughts on it. But that's just so far so much that this is meant to push the narrative of restoring the Snyderverse. There's these content creators out there that are wanting to get this movie taken down. They want this movie badly reviewed. They want to attack this movie, and it's not the right way to do it. I am pro restore the Snyderverse. I'm going about it the right way by tweeting, posting, saying all this stuff about how I want them to restore the Snyderverse. I'm not going to attack Warner Brothers' other movies to do it, because that's a problem. Joker was successful because the executives and the Warner Brothers, the studio, did not get involved. They let Todd Phillips make it because they didn't trust it. So they wanted Todd Phillips to crash and burn by making that movie. And guess what? It grossed, over $1 billion? Let Matt Reeves make his movie, guys. Don't go attacking it, please. Just let him make his movie. So let me read this to you guys real quick. I'm going to pull it up here. Hold on. Oh. I'll cover my face so y'all can read this. Okay. So the article is titled Rumor. Warner Brothers thinks The Batman is terrible and may delay it again into 2023. Okay. I'll kind of give my opinions as we're reading through this, but The Batman could yet again be in serious trouble, as according to a new rumor, the film has been the subject of frustration and negativity all the way to the top of the Warner Brothers studio. DVD covered a lot of this, so again, I'm going to kind of glance through a lot of it. Source close to YouTube scooper Dictor Van Doomcock tells the future ruler of Earth that the bloated and beleaguered production could face another delay and in the process become the most expensive movie ever made. There, he brought that up. He urges his skepticism surrounding it. Talked about that. Following the wrapping of filming in March, Matt Reeves reportedly screened a rough cut of the film for studio executives, after which they freaked. As noted by Doomcock, the reaction was similar to those of Star Wars and Star Trek fans who saw Last Jedi and Into Darkness. Okay. And again, it's possible. Very possible. Surprisingly, despite the stories about the former Twilight star... and then it talks about Matt Reeves' complaints about Robert Pattinson. His dalliance with co-star Zoe Kravitz, his attitude on the set, and how awful he looked in the suit next to the stunt players. It's easily fixed. Apparently, the problem was with the film's Bruce Wayne stuff. Okay. Doomcock here's the production scenes are fine per se. So the action scenes are fine per se, but the producers are mulling the possibility of reshooting the scenes of Pattinson as the billionaire playboy for whatever reason. If you're saying for whatever reason, you don't have any information. You don't have any information. The Batman, so goes the intel, has ballooned to a cost of nearly $400 million. Okay. Dropping it in theaters and on HBO Max as is. This movie is not going to be dropped on HBO Max. There's no way. There's no way this movie is going to get dropped on HBO Max. There's no way. Nuclear reaction. It's not. It must be a special kind of terrible. Okay. Reshoots would add to the cost of the film and push it back to 2023. Okay. But again, this article doesn't discuss anything that he said. Compatriot Harvey Cthulhu. Why the potential delay would be so long? Doomcock cited perhaps specious rumor as the reason, noting that it would be done to accommodate Zoe Kravitz's suspected pregnancy. See, they're also reporting on something that's not even confirmed. Like, we don't even know if she's pregnant. Like, no one knows if she's pregnant. The scoop could be another one for the tinfoil hat crowd, but it sure makes it sound like Warner is regretting letting Zack Snyder go. I don't think they are. I think that's the problem with Warner Brothers, is they don't regret that decision. Lucky for them, there may still be time and demand to restore the Snyderverse. I told you. I told you. That's the point of this whole thing. The point of this whole thing is to push the narrative to restore the Snyderverse. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. Let me hear your opinions. I am curious to hear your guys' opinions. I don't believe it. It's garbage. And again, my problem's not with DVD. He's reporting on the rumor, but I do know that DVD is one of the strong proponents for restoring the Snyderverse, and he's willing to do anything to do that, and that is to help attack this new movie. Not even give it a chance. Like, because of the Robert Pattinson casting, he's not even willing to give it a chance. And there's people out there that aren't giving it a chance. My request and my hope is that they see me, a small content creator on YouTube on this platform, begging them to give this movie a chance. Seriously. Robert Pattinson is an amazing actor, and obviously Warner Brothers trusts him because they gave him a top-of-the-line position in making DC films moving forward. Obviously, he's done something good, and obviously Matt Reeves saw something in him to have him in this movie. He is the director, after all, and Matt Reeves is an amazing director. That's all I'm going to say on it. If you don't know, if you don't believe me, and you haven't seen those movies, you haven't seen Matt Reeves movies, you haven't seen enough Robert Pattinson movies other than Twilight, go look some stuff up. Go do research. Watch movies. And that's all I'm going to say on it. I mean, let me know what you guys think down below. I love Ben Affleck. I think Ben Affleck's Batman movie would have been amazing. But obviously, that's not what the studio wanted. I mean, obviously, the studio wanted something different. That's why they brought Matt Reeves in, and that's why they allowed Matt Reeves to cast Robert Pattinson. I was skeptical of it, and then I watched Robert Pattinson's movies. It's enough of me babbling. I'm getting heated about it. Guys, let me know down below what you think. Please, I would love to talk to you guys about this. And please, do your research. Do your research. Don't just babble on about it. Don't just babble on about it. Do your research. Let me know down in the comment, guys. If you guys like this video, please hit that thumbs up, guys. Hit the subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you know every single time I post a video. I love you guys. We'll see you in the next one, all right? Peace and love. Love you guys. See ya. Have a good one.
And I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you. Baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our growlings when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the